here at Research Triangle High School. I would also like to introduce Antigone, who will be the feature head of theater here at Research Triangle High School. I would like to welcome you to the first show of the 2022-2023 Raptor Repertory season, and that is Antigone. Very, very excited to have you here with us tonight. So, just a few words about the play. Antigone, one of my favorites, Sophocles. It is easily my favorite of the Greek plays, one of my favorite plays of all time. There's a problem, of course, with the play, that it's written in Greek. And none of us read Greek, apologies. So you have to read it in a translation. And I've read dozens of translations, and I find that most of them get something wrong. And that is in Sophocles, Antigone, the main character is 16 years old. And I think that is absolutely fundamental to understanding how this play works. This is a play about teenagers. The main characters are teenagers. So when Vernon Cole Theatre Company commissioned me in 2016 to do my own adaptation of Sophocles, that was very much the focus. To write a version that focused on these characters as teenagers. And so it's been a great joy to do a production here with these students that is very true to the spirit of what Sophocles wrote. So the plays are in order for this performance, particularly to Susie Post-Rust and all of the arts boosters for managing all the front of house stuff. Hugely, hugely important. We're very, very grateful. Huge thanks to the Tech Theater class who did the design and the build for everything that you see here. This is all entirely student-driven. We're very, very grateful. Huge thanks to Sam Corey, who did all of the direction on the coursework. You'll see that, which is really quite magical. And then one small additional note. I did a little bit of math earlier. I've been doing a curtain speech like this for every show and every improv performance and every showcase since we opened the school a little over 10 years ago. That makes this my 178th curtain speech. It's also my last, as I will be handing over the program to Sam Corey this semester. Ms. Corey is my first pick to take over this program. Just finished her master's at the American Shakespeare Center, and Mary Baldwin. We worked together for a decade, variously in different theater capacities, so she's very much the person to take this over, and so I will be sort of officially handing that over. It's my last show as a director here, and it's been a tremendous honor, the greatest honor of my life, to work with all of these other people in this rather special space. The play this evening runs 1 hour, straight through. There is no intermission. And in the event of an emergency, you can exit the door you came in, and also where it says exit on that side. I would ask you to turn off your cell phones and the noise-making devices. It's a small house, we do notice when those things go off. And without any further ado, Research Triangle High's Raptor Repertory is very proud to present Antigone.
Yesterday.
The day before.
And the day before. Last week. And the week before. And the week before. And the week before. How far back do you remember? How far back does it go?
Can you remember yesterday, last year?
10 years ago. Do you remember the day you were born? Do you?
Well, we must go back further. Your parents, grandparents, before the city you lived in existed.
Before the country you live in existed.
Before the things you think of as ancient existed. Before cowboys and Indians.
Before castles and knights. Before plagues and cathedrals.
Before Romans and barbarians. Before, when all that you know had yet to happen.
In that silence.
Before. Sophocles wrote a play. This play has existed longer than anything you know. It was ancient to Shakespeare and Newton.
It was ancient to Cleopatra and Caesar.
It was ancient to Christ, Muhammad.
It spoke to all of them and speaks to you today.
How?
How can something so old, 2,450 years old, how can it speak to us today? How can it still mean anything?
It speaks still because it speaks the truth.
And truth is eternal.
Truth, like gold, cannot rust. Truth, like gold,
Cannot tarnish. Truth, like gold, is precious from age to age to age.
It speaks of the poison of power.
And the triumph of love. It speaks of the arrogance of authority.
The passion of youth. It says that adults are often wrong and that you are often right.
It says that you can change the world, although the cost is great. It tells us that truth is eternal.
We invoke you, Zeus and Athena. Invoke you, Dionysus. In the words of those who believed in you and your will. Be with us now as you were there in Greece 2,000 years ago. It is dawn in Thebes.
And a dead body lays on the ground.
Ismene, come on, you said you'd be here. Ismene,
Mom, 6 a.m. What is wrong with you, Antigone?
I was worried you wouldn't come.
You're crazy. You know that, right? My sister is a crazy person.
Don't joke. Our brothers are
I
dead.
know that. You think I don't know that? It's 6 a.m. For God's sake.
For God's sake. Yes, exactly.
You asked me to meet you here. I'm here. What's going on?
Did you see what our aunt did? What Creon did?
Official announcement. Declaration of martial law.
One brother, Antigone, is to be buried with full honors, while our other brother...
Dionysus will be left unburied and unmourned. Left to rot in the sun, she means, to be eaten by dogs.
Our brother!
Died in battle, killing our other
They
brother.
were both guilty. Each shot by the other, triggers pulled at the same time. Fighting over the throne, the stupid throne.
Creon's a better ruler anyway. She's rational, organized.
She said if anyone buries Polynices, they'll be put to death.
Yes.
Our brother whose soul will never rest unless he's buried. Buried as the gods demand.
Creon has a point. Polynices raised an army. He was invading the city, blowing up buildings, buses. He was a terrorist. If he's buried, there will be other attacks.
But it's not fair. When father died and Creon took over, she said that when our brothers turned 18, they'd share
I
power.
know this, Antigone. It's 6
And
a.m.
when Antigone took the throne last year, he was supposed to give it to Polynices this year. He didn't. He wouldn't step down. He broke his word. He started it.
Started it? Antigone, they're not third graders. People died because of Polynices.
People died because of Antigone. That's how war
An
works.
example has to be made. Otherwise, the war will never end. There will always be someone with a bomb unless they see the consequences. See his body rotting there. See it.
I see.
Do you?
I see you're not going to help me.
What do you mean?
Our brother will never rest. The gods themselves will turn their noses from the stench of his corpse if we leave him unburied.
What do you mean we?
Who else will do it?
You can't mean you want to bury him.
Why else would I have asked you to meet me here?
Antigone, no, this isn't a joke.
You're right.
I know you love Polynices. I know he was your favorite.
No, I loved Antigone more. Polynices was horrible to me, but he was my
The
brother.
sentence is death. You know Creon, she doesn't play around.
You're not going to help
I
me.
mean, she probably wouldn't have you killed. You're her niece. But I know she'd arrest you, put you in prison.
No, she'll have me killed. She loves the law more than she loves me, more than she loves anyone.
Don't you love the law? Don't you love this city? The peace and prosperity that law has made.
The law serves the people, not the other way around. The law is supposed to protect justice. An unjust law should be overthrown, even if it makes some people peaceful and
Those are
prosperous.
very nice words, Antigone, but we're talking about prison. We're talking about death even.
And that's why I'm going to stop talking and do something.
Why us? Why does it always have to be us? Why is our family always in the crosshairs?
We are the house of Atreus, the royal family of
First
Thebes.
our father, Oedipus the Great, Oedipus the King, Oedipus the Blind, and the Stupid, and the Exiled. Our mother who killed herself when she learned his true identity. And now our brothers, dead by the other's hand. When is it enough?
All right, I understand.
Please.
No, I'm not angry. You're right. We've had a hard life. Mourned the loss of our mother, wandered exiled with our blind father. Lived through war and chaos. We shouldn't have to suffer more.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding.
So I'll do it myself.
I can-
No, I don't need your help. I can carry a shovel and say the prayers on my own. I can die on my own.
You won't.
I will. I know Creon is as well as you, she's going to kill me.
She
And
can't.
I will rest with both my brothers.
Listen
both
to
my
yourself.
brothers.
All these words, just words.
Not for long.
Look, think of Haman. Haman, he loves you.
I can't, I'm not strong enough.
He loves you.
I can't think of him. I can't face leaving him too.
Then don't. Listen, I'm older than you. I'm smarter than you. You were always impatient, impulsive.
Then make an argument. Please explain to me why it is right that a brother's soul should wander eternally. Eternally. Explain why fairness and love and the will of the gods should be thrown under the wheels of the government. Please explain to me. Give me some reason. Do you think I want to die?
Antigone. I'm so sorry, Antigone. You're right. I wish I could help you. I wish I were brave enough to help you.
Me too. Just, please don't tell anyone. They'll find out soon enough.
You don't have to do this.
I do, though. I do.
Ismene was right. Their family has suffered more than any other. Maybe you've even heard of their suffering, echoing down for thousands of years.
And his sons, Polynices and Eteocles, too busy fighting for power for the kingdom of Thebes that now lacked a king.
They were too young to rule, so their aunt Creon took over. Creon, who loves order.
Who worshipped peace and quiet. Under her rule, the passion of Oedipus was replaced by calm and rigor.
The streets were clean.
Trains ran on time.
She made a plan.
When the sons of Oedipus were old enough, Eteocles would take the throne for a year.
1 year. Then it would go to Polynices.
Then back to Eteocles.
1 year at a time. Clean and clear and organized.
But
After his year in control, Eteocles learned to love power more than justice.
He refused to give up the throne. Polynices went to the Argive army, the ancient enemies of Thebes. With them, he planned a campaign of terror, which turned into all-out war.
And then, just yesterday morning, Eteocles and Polynices shot each other through the heart.
Their aim was the only thing they'd ever shared.
Creon again has taken the throne and the terrible task of rebuilding the city.
Her first action was to bury Eteocles, to uphold the honor of the throne.
And to let Polynices rot, unburied, a warning to all who would raise arms against Thebes.
But the gods are watching.
Dionysus and Zeus and Athena, those whom we invoke.
They have said a body must be buried, a soul must be put to rest.
The gods watched, hating Creon for loving quiet
And just
more
as-
truth.
And just as Oedipus learned his lesson for going against the will of the gods, so too will Creon.
Soon.
But first, someone else must suffer. Haman, her only son.
Only 17. He loves Antigone. Loves her as deeply as only a 17-year-old can.
She's everything to him, and she is about to say goodbye.
Antigone, you're here. Didn't you get my texts? It's been crazy all morning. I had these dreams. I can't even, they were horrible. Antigone,
I'm here.
what's wrong? Antigone, you're crying.
I think I'm going to be crying for a while.
Why? What?
Except, I don't know if I have much time left to cry.
Thank you for coming out this morning. I know a press conference seems so pointless after the atrocities of the last 2 months, but it is precisely these simple, mundane things that I hope we can get back to, now that Polynices and the Argive army have been defeated. And while we mourn our great young leader, Eteocles, I know he'd want us to move on with the process of rebuilding Thebes. And to that end, it is with a heavy and reluctant heart that I return to the throne.
I know you're hurting. I know you loved your brothers.
My brothers were petty warmongers who got off playing with their guns and their bombs. They were spoiled brats who never learned to share. They never should have been let out of kindergarten.
Then what's wrong?
They're still dead, aren't they?
What do you want me to say?
My family is dead. Mother, father, brothers. All I have is Ismene, and she hates me.
Hates you? She loves you.
Not now.
What do you mean?
Have you ever had to do something you didn't want to do, didn't know if you could do,
I think so.
and then you find out you can do it, only it's worse, so much worse than you thought it would be.
Antigone, please, you're not making sense. You're worrying me.
I'm sure you all understand how difficult it was for me to leave my own nephew, the traitor, unburied, to declare martial law, soldiers on every corner, the police, the riot gear. I hate that Thebes has come to this, even more than you. But I am confident a strong hand now will secure the future for us all.
It's horrible what my mom is doing. I mean, she's always been cold, but leaving your brother unburied? And then a death sentence?
No, just please don't.
Do you believe it? About gods and souls? Do you believe brother's soul? You know?
Yes. I have seen the gentle bow of Iris at dawn. I have seen the terror of Zeus's lightning. I've known love and laughter and beauty, and there is something more than mortal about these things. I wish there weren't, but I feel the presence of greatness, and it says there's a job I must do.
Now, are there
Are you aware
the
the corpse of
press?
Polynices has been buried?
What?
There's footage already on the news. Everyone will see it.
What?
Antigone, your hands are dirty. Why?
Not possible. There were guard stations.
I love you. Have I ever told you that?
No, not the words.
Video for morning hours show dirt heaped on the corpse.
I love you.
What are you saying?
What did you do?
But stream of patterns consistent with a holy burial.
That's not possible. I declare. I made a
The
law.
body
Law.
was
If
laid out,
anyone,
arms crossed, and opposed to breast.
they would be put to death.
What did
The
you
body was cold. I thought there'd be blood, but the blood had all drained away or congealed, or he was so
There have been
cold.
comments on the video that this is the will of the gods.
The gods? What? You think Zeus came down?
Miraculous intervention.
Zeus came down to bury him. What? As a reward for his loyal service? Polynices, who came to burn his shrines, steal his sacred treasures, scatter his laws to the wind.
We'll run away. I'll pack. We'll be gone before my mom finishes the press conference.
No!
For only rhetorical, some people are. Then some people do not deserve the right to speak! This, do you see? This is what brings a nation to its knees. To suggest that the gods honor the wicked.
We can get away.
Protect the betrayer.
We can get away.
Then she'll do it again. She'll desecrate the corpse.
She'll do it anyway.
And she'll do worse in the
She'll
future.
do it anyway.
And someone needs to stand up to her now.
No, this was no act of the gods, and it is treason to say otherwise. This was an act of betrayal, of cowardly betrayal.
I started the journey. Now I have to finish
And
it.
I tell you this now, my friends,
If I run away, it's as if I never buried him at all.
I will find the criminal.
I did the act, and there will be consequences.
Antigone, please. I love you.
No more questions.
I love you.
Please don't say that. Please don't make this harder.
I'm trying to save you.
It's too late. I promise. It's too late.
She's right. Because this isn't a regular story.
This is a tragedy.
And a tragedy has rules. Tragedy is not a story where bad things happen.
It is a story where what must happen happens.
The gods lay out the path, and there is no use in fighting.
It only gets worse if you fight it.
We march from A to B to C. There are no mites in tragedy.
There is no escape.
But there is a moment when, if you're smart, you realize this is no mere drama, this is a tragedy, and the moment you realize you are free.
Because there is no hope. You will die. Or if not to die, then something worse than death. There is no hope. You cannot change it.
And because you can't, you need not bargain. You need not beg.
You can be brave as you never were, for the worst has already happened.
No, you can't stop it.
So you say those things you never dared, not because they will save you, not been so petty as that.
You say these things because they are true. No more whimpering, no more sighs. You shout and scream the deadly truth.
The machine is perfect, ceaseless and unchanging, and you are a bomb in the heart of the machine. What have you done? What have you done?
I buried my brother.
What have you done?
I posted the pictures. I told Thebes Polynices had been buried. It's amazing what you can say in 140
Do
characters.
you have any idea what you've done?
Did you become queen by continually repeating yourself?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I lost my temper.
I didn't know you had a temper. You always look so calm on TV.
You prideful little brat. You thought that I wouldn't do it? Wouldn't put you to death? It's the law. To need the law.
No, I knew you'd put me to
But I
death.
have to now. After what you've done, broadcasting it to everyone. Everyone sees now. Everyone knows. It'll be the end of the government if I look weak.
Is that all that keeps the state running? Your appearance?
No. Wait, if you take it back, repent on television, we'll hold a press conference, you'll explain you were confused.
No.
It's the only way I can save you. Don't you see? It was the law.
Did Zeus write the law? Did Athena? Dionysus?
Gods. You bring up the gods now.
I bring up what I believe.
Which shows just how foolish you are. Nothing more than a child.
I'm 16.
A child. Caught up in things so beyond your years. Listen. Whatever you believe, I have a city to run. I have taxes to raise and people to feed and a war to rebuild from. These are real things. These are things that must be done.
Must they?
Just like your father, a romantic, but let me tell you, running a nation isn't romantic. It's not about ideas and ideals. It's about numbers and spreadsheets and polls. It's about getting things done. Even if it is ugly, even if you have to cut corners, it's a job, like any other job. One day you'll understand that.
I don't want to understand
A
that.
child, and I'm still your aunt. I'll call the press. We'll explain, we'll cover the body, you'll issue an apology. I'm sorry I slapped you there.
You're going to do worse.
What do you mean?
You're going to kill me. Because I'm not going to apologize.
I'm trying to help you. I want to help you.
I don't want you to help me. I want you to bury my brother. And if you will not, then I will die.
But why? Why? Do you believe all that religious nonsense? You think, what, there's some afterlife? Some theme park in the sky Polynices won't get into unless you throw dirt on his body?
It sounds stupid when you say it like that.
It is stupid. Monstrously stupid. Listen, Antigone, listen, whatever you believe. I know these so-called priests, how they go through the motions without caring, shoveling dirt on a body while they think about dinner. The sacred person is a grocery list. It's nothing. In an empty show. You want to throw your life away for that?
If it's so meaningless, why won't you let him be buried?
It matters to the superstitious rabble and trying to govern. It matters to the religious zealots of the Argive army.
Then maybe it matters to Polynices.
He's dead.
Maybe it even matters to the gods. They say it
The
does.
gods are not here. The gods are not part of my government.
What else isn't part of your government? Justice, maybe? Fairness? How about truth?
Of course they have a place. But when you grow up, you'll realize that they are luxuries. Nice to have, yes. Yes, but simply too costly to have every day.
They're the only things we exist for.
Spoken like a child when you grow up.
I do not need to grow up.
Teenagers, always so full of ideals. But when you realize the way the world really works, listen, you're so smart. Someday you can be somebody. play. But for now...
No! We don't need to wait. That's the lie you've been telling us all our lives. We don't need a degree, or a job, or a driver's license even. We only need to know the truth. You say wait. You keep putting off the world. Well, we live in the world too. We love and hate and die, just like you. And we can stop you. All the foolish teenagers with their cell phones and their ideals.
What you're talking about is a rebellion.
So long you've kept the tools to yourself, no more. You can't make us silent anymore. I open my mouth and a million voices carry it. So long as I speak the truth, I can never be made silent. No, not even in death.
You want a revolution? Haven't we had enough revolution? Enough blood in the streets of my city? Don't you want peace?
Not at the cost of justice.
But it's not a question of justice. It's all just show. Don't you see? Your parents, the burial, the armies, all politics. No one believes any of it. It's just what has to be done.
So, you admit that it's wrong?
Of course I admit it. I don't like it any more than you. You think, what, I want the corpse rotting in the streets?
It's wrong, but you do it anyway.
I have to.
How strange. I don't have to do things I think are wrong. And you call yourself a queen.
Someone has to do it. Someone has to take control, or there will be war and bloodshed, just as there was under Antigone. Someone has to say, fine, I'll give up my right to what's good and pure, I'll turn my eyes away from the truth, if that's what's necessary. It is a terrible job, but someone has to do it.
I guess we both have jobs we don't want to do.
You silly little girl, don't you see? Whatever you do, I'll just undo it, and you'll be dead. You won't be able to stop
Then
me.
someone else will do it. That's the thing about truth. Truth is like gold. It can't tarnish, and it can't rust, and it can buy even the weakest heart.
I think you underestimate what guns can do.
Your guns haven't stopped me, and there will be others.
You have great faith in this idealistic mob of yours. But I wonder how brave they'll be when you're dead. It's easy to send a tweet or like a status and think that you're involved. But when it comes time to act, I wonder how many of them will do anything more than scroll through their feeds and shake their heads.
I don't know. I'm taking action. They may too.
That's a risk they're willing to take. They'll rise up when they see your body rotting in the street next to your brother's. When your soul, you believe so much in such things, is trapped and haunted, just as his. You're willing to risk it? You're willing to wager your immortal soul on the bravery of a bunch of kids?
I guess we'll find out.
And you're not afraid it will backfire? That your death will make them even more afraid? Drive them further back?
Creon, you don't get it. All your arguments, your good arguments. But I'm not doing this because it'll get me something. I'm doing this because it's right. That's all.
Just like your father used to think you're being brave. And all you are is prideful, blind, just like him.
My father saw things you could never see with your eyes so low, so focused on the bottom line, on your poll numbers.
Fine, then I'll have you killed, if that's what you want, so badly. But first, you'll see, yes, you'll see, the truth you're so willing to die for. The truth about your brothers.
I know already. You think I don't? Polynices was a murderer. He deserved to die. I know. Isn't it strange? It doesn't matter.
Why then? Why?
Can't you imagine a life that's more than just tit for tat? More than he poked me, so I'll poke him. He scratched my back, I'll scratch his. Can't you imagine a life where people do things not for what they get out of them, but because they're right? The gods say a man must be buried, not only to save his soul, but also because it's right. I'd do it whether or not he was my brother. I'd do it if he was the most twisted criminal in thieves. Because not to do it is to be just as wrong as he was.
Such fine words. You could be somebody great someday.
I am not interested in greatness, and I won't have a someday.
But that's not even what I was going to tell you. You know Polonices was a crook. Fine. Everyone knows that. The bloodshed he brought to peace. Everyone. But what you don't know is that Antigone was just as bad. I have proof. I've seen the documents. He was planning on selling out Thebes to the highest bidder. He'd have gladly handed over the keys to the city to the Argive army if they'd been willing to pay enough.
But you gave him a hero's burial, a state funeral.
He bragged to me, you know. Bragged about how he hired assassins to have Polonices killed. Even before he rebelled. He had no intention of sharing the throne.
But
Those weren't the only killers he hired. He tried to have your father killed too. Tried for me as well, I expect. But his thugs were just as ineffective as anything else the spoiled brat tried his hand at. I'm only alive now because of his incompetence.
And you buried him in a marble vault, my family's vault.
Of course I did. I had to make a hero out of one of them. There'd be civil war and chaos otherwise. There must always be a villain and a hero, or the state falls apart.
Why are you telling me this?
That's not even the worst of it. If you care about such things, both of them violent, cowardly children. They both got the biggest guns they could get their hands on, shot each other's faces off, blew their bodies apart. There was barely enough left for one funeral, let alone two, and I certainly couldn't tell which was which. So, we wrapped up the corpse that was in slightly better condition and said that was Antigone, and buried him in your family's tomb. I have no idea if it was his body or Polonices, and it couldn't matter less.
Why did you tell me this?
To save you. Do you think I could kill a child? Do you see? This is what you wanted to die for that pair of monsters.
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I'm sorry. Really?
Is no one pure? Is the whole world corrupt?
Yes, it is. That's what I'm sorry for. Our world is rotten at the core, and so we must be a little rotten too to make any good of it. The best we can hope for is to be a little less corrupt than those around us. Those days, those story days when men could be good, those days are long gone, if they ever existed at all.
No one. I have no one.
Listen. Listen. We all bend the law for our own desires. Just once I can bend it for you. I always loved you best. And Haman. Oh, he loves you.
Haman. My Haman.
Run away. Go with him. Leave now. Go south. Cross the border to Athens. They'll welcome you there.
Haman.
There'll be a search. I'll hold it off for as long as I can. There's a lot of bureaucracy I can use to slow it down. There'll be a trial here. You'll be burdened with envy, all of that. But you'll be safe. Safe with Haman. You can forget all this.
I'll go. I'll forget.
Good. Yes. I'll call Haman. Forget.
Forget. Except
What?
when does it stop?
When does what?
If I paid now, when can I ever say enough? Never. Not till I have bankrupted my soul, isn't that right? This is reasonable, isn't it? I should know the cost. Tell me, you with your spreadsheets and your bottom lines, what is the cost?
Be happy?
What will I have to give up? Just my ideals? What about my dreams? The people I love is Mamie Heyman. When does it stop?
I only want you to live and be happy.
No! For your happiness is the opposite of life. Your happiness is death. Thank the gods I see it. You nearly won. Nearly made me forget, but I will not. I will not stop shouting the truth.
Stop it. Someone will hear you.
They have heard me. They've all heard me.
Shut up.
The truth cannot be stopped. It is
Take my way and shut your mouth.
Listen to me. No choice you can make about it.
This is what had to be. The
Mom,
law is the law.
please.
You'll regret it. You'll regret it. She'll
Please.
repent when she sees I'm serious.
Please, I love her.
The will of the gods is unmoving. Dionysus and Zeus and Athena, they are patient. They cannot be defeated.
Am I not ruler in thieves?
Can you hear me?
There is a cost for going against the gods.
Ask Oedipus.
Ask his daughter. If you will not be silent, I will have you silenced. You don't know how hard my job is. You don't know.
Why?
Oh, son. Son, I'm sorry.
Why?
You don't know? My job.
What
To this
have you done?
Not long ago, I asked her that same question.
What
And
did
comes
you
the other
do?
two. I have sent Antigone to die.
You actually did it.
I'm
You.
sorry. I know you love her.
She's your niece.
I'm not an unreasonable
She's
woman. I'm not a
16.
tyrant. She threatened a rebellion. She doesn't do everything I've worked for. Peace, safety.
She buried her
She
brother.
spoke against
Is that
me,
what you're afraid of? People speaking against you? Because she's not the only one.
including my own son.
Yes!
I tried so often to reach you. I
No, it's not just
How?
me. Hundreds of people. Thousands. They're coming out into the streets. Are you gonna kill
I'm
them all?
sure some are coming out. Yes, some are. But I promise you, son, more people are with me. More people want a clean street and a full refrigerator than want some phantom of justice.
All right. Bring it to the people then. Ask
The
them.
people can't be trusted to know what's best for
And you
them.
say you're not a
I
tyrant.
say, for 2 months now, there have been bombs and shootings in my city. I love this city. I love her more than you ever thought you loved Antigone. I have seen her torn apart. And now I finally thought we might heal, and that damn girl comes along and reopens all the wounds that were just starting to close.
She's doing what she thinks is right. You told me to do what I thought was
There's
right.
what's right and wrong, yes. But then there's what's practical. And sometimes that's even more important.
I don't believe
It
that.
doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what she believes. It matters what I believe. Why must I spend every hour of the day explaining myself to children? I have a nation to run.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
You're going to kill a 16-year-old girl.
Anything else, and it will look like I'm favoring her because she's my niece. It will look like I'm bending the law for my desires.
It's what the people desire too. Look out your window.
The law can't be bent or the nation will collapse. As long as she stands against me, she must die, or the state will fall.
The people seem to think that a nation that would murder a girl for burying her brother ought to fall.
No, nothing is worth that. Nothing is worth the violence and the blood. There's a day, and maybe that day has come for you, when you have to let go of the tinfoil dreams you had as a child and accept the hard realities of being an adult.
An adult? Is that what you are? Does an adult kill a teenage girl for disagreeing with her? Does an adult ignore the shouts of the people because it might undermine her authority? What happened to you? Because you were an adult once. A parent. A hero. I remember the woman that would guide and teach me. What happened to her? Was it me? Was I wrong? Were you always this scared, scrawny thing with no real ideals other than a balanced budget and enough police? Was I wrong?
Yes. Yes, you were. I'm sorry.
What will you do, Creon?
I will have her taken outside of the city to that tomb cut into the cliffside. Since burial is so important to her, I will have her buried there alive.
You would have her starve to death in a cold, dark tomb?
The law must be abided.
Alone?
Yes. Outside of the eye of the people and their cameras. No body to rally the rebels. No gunshot to startle them into action. Alone. She will waste away in the dark like the idea she spread.
Alone.
Too cowardly for the gun or the noose.
Too cruel for prison or pardon.
Creon seeks to hide her shame, to seal Antigone up.
Away from the world.
To starve alone in the tomb.
Imagine the darkness.
Imagine the cold.
Imagine the hunger. Not bad at first, but as days lengthen in that sunless cell,
Hunger grows, consumes and swallows.
The hunger is your sun and moon.
the hunger is your sole companion.
And so it is with all brave people. They are entombed away from the easy life.
They are consumed by the hunger of desires denied.
To change the world, the cost is great, but Antigone was willing to pay it.
We must each be willing to pay it.
Sometime.
You should have stopped
I
her.
should have stopped Creon.
What could you have done? Yell? Scream? Punch her in the face? Would that have changed
I
anything?
could have done it at least. I just stood there, powerless. Antigone was able to stop her.
It hasn't stopped her. She stood up to her, and now she's going to die. Polynices is unburied again. Nothing's changed.
Everything's changed. Can't you feel it? The revolt Polynices couldn't bring about, Creon has brought on herself.
I should have helped her.
What?
Antigone asked me to help her, and I said no. I said no. Why did I say no? If I hadn't, maybe Creon would have relented. She wouldn't dare kill both the last children of Oedipus.
She wouldn't care.
She would, though. It would look bad on TV.
It's so cold. So cold, I can't feel my arms. Or maybe that's the hunger. I haven't eaten since before I buried him. I can't tell them apart anymore. The hunger, and the cold, and the darkness.
We both could have done more.
I didn't think she'd go through with
I
it.
knew Creon would go through with it. I've seen her do worse. She doesn't look like a monster. That's the worst thing about her.
We are both powerless.
Yes. Or no. No, that's wrong.
Could have saved
But
her,
we
and we
still
didn't.
have power. We're not powerless.
How?
We can keep talking, calling out against my mom, against...
Don't you see? I don't care about any of that. I don't.
They'll take me soon. They have kept me in this tomb, but soon the sun will rise and they will take me to the tomb, and they will seal the stone door, and the hunger will overtake me.
What do you mean? Antigone's going to die for these ideas.
Don't care. I don't care about who's right and who's wrong, or what the gods say or don't say. I want my sister.
If we can't save her, we can make sure her ideas live
I
on.
don't care about her ideas. I want her. Antigone. How could you be so heartless?
They took me there, to the tomb, to show me, in a police van. They want to frighten me. I am frightened. I want nothing more than to bang on that door and call the guards and agree to their demands. But I can't. It'll all be for nothing if I do.
Heartless?
this.
Don't you see? No amount of justice could bring her back.
I'll never know how much I loved him. I was going to spend my life with him. He didn't know it, but I was. I was ready.
They're going to take her at dawn.
Where?
I heard the guards.
Where are they going to do it?
Do it?
I think I can watch, but I have to be there.
Watch.
When they shoot her.
They're not going to shoot her. Didn't you
What
hear?
What do you mean?
Creon was afraid it would encourage revolt.
What are they going to do?
All the things that were going to happen 2 days ago. I was planning college, then we'd get married.
Is Mamie?
We'd go somewhere far from here, from our families, and we'd be happy. All the happiness I was going to have in the future. 2 days ago.
Ismene, what are they going to do?
Can't stop.
What are they going to
They're
do?
going to take her at dawn and seal her in a tomb in the cliffs outside the city.
Alive? They're going to bury her alive?
Thought you knew.
No!
I
No!
heard from the guards. They're all over the palace.
You can't let them!
There's nothing we can do.
What do you mean?
Creon has all the power.
Does she?
All the men, all the guns. That's what power means.
You just said we should have done more. We could have done more. And now there's a chance to do something, and you're saying no?
They'll shoot us.
So?
And it won't change anything. Just like Antigone. We'll go, we'll get killed. They'll still take her away. There'll just be more people dead and no one safe.
No. But maybe... Or... Where are they taking her?
Why?
Maybe I can't free her. There's something I can do.
Then don't be an idiot.
Where
Don't be like
Are
her.
they taking her?
Tell me what you're planning.
So you can try to stop me. Like you did her. How well did that work out, Ismene?
Was it worth it? I wonder. Was it worth it?
You said you should have helped her. You said it might have made a difference. So help me.
It won't matter.
It might.
But probably not.
How can you be such a coward? Probably not. Not that I'll fail. Not that I'll be killed. Not that I can't change things. But probably not. What is wrong with you?
Was it worth it? I don't know. Probably not.
2 miles outside of Thebes, south of the highway, there was a cliff. There was a cave there. It was used as a tomb hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands. The door is made of stone. That is where they're taking her.
The sun is rising. That means it's time. They'll take me now.
It's time then. It's time.
It's time. In a tragedy, there comes a time when the trap must be sprung.
There's no escaping it. That's what a tragedy is. In a tragedy, the horror takes place off stage.
And it falls to a messenger to bring back the news of catastrophe.
They led her in at gunpoint. She staggered from the hunger. And then they began to seal the opening. There was a small group, police, a news crew, no crowds. Creon was there. She looked pale, paler than usual. A woman spread thin. And that's when the screaming started. From inside the tomb. But it was not Antigone's voice. It was Haman's. He must have snuck inside the tomb at dawn. When she heard the screams and the sobs, Creon snapped. She ordered the wall to be taken down, and then she started tearing at the wall herself with her bare hands. From inside the tomb, Antigone swayed back and forth, hanging from the ceiling, a cord around her neck. The red and golden cord of her dress cut into the blue flesh of her skin. And laying at her feet, crumbling and wailing like an animal, was Haman. He was inside the tomb to die with his beloved. And that's when he saw Creon. He dove at Creon, never looking more like an animal then, threw her back against the wall of the cavern. The police officer stood outside. They knew better than to interfere with an animal in his rage. Creon was wearing her full dress uniform with a braid and white gloves, a nickel-plated service pistol at her side, loaded and ready as it always was. And in his rage, Haman grabbed the pistol and aimed it at his mother, who froze first, then slumped, as if to accept her fate. It was not so easy, not for her, no. Haman turned the pistol around, his eyes never leaving his mother, and then he shot his brains out right in front of her.
A tragedy must end in catastrophe.
That is the purpose of the machine. But catastrophe is not death.
Death is too common, too easy. Death comes to all of us.
Pray that catastrophe never does.
Catastrophe is the worst thing. The thing that must not happen.
The realization that everything you wanted is ruined.
Everything pure is corrupted.
Everything safe is destroyed. And
It's all your own fault.
How merciful it would have been for him to kill Creon.
But that would have denied her the catastrophe she had earned.
so much worse then that Haman shot himself.
And so destroyed the state Creon loved so much, now had no one to wear the crown, no one to sit on the throne.
Except scandal and rumor and the revolt that was sure to fall.
The news spread fast. By dawn, the streets were full of protesters and flags.
Within 2 days, Creon found herself praying to Dionysus and Zeus and Athena. It was too late.
But it was not the will of the gods alone that caused this catastrophe.
Their instrument was a 16-year-old girl.
Not a special girl. Her sister was smarter.
Her boyfriend was kinder.
But a girl who knew that truth is like gold and must be treasured and protected.
And fought for. And if it is, then it will last.
Truth will last eternally. It will not rust nor tarnish.
It will gleam for 2,000 years, and then 2,000 more.
Tomorrow.
And the day after.
The day after.
The day after. The day after. The day after. The day after. The day after. The day after.
Next month.
The day after.
1 month after. The month after. The month after. The next year. The year after. The year after. And the year after. And the year after.
It's even more fun. I've never done this before. Please, your show, yes. Oh, it's actually
So we have side whiskers, both of our amazing
So first up is Miss Corey, who will be taking over the theater department after Mr. Finley leaves. So here's your poster, and for your gift, we got you a necklace that is a yin yang because with the movement stuff you do, balance is important, and you yourself are so balanced, and also yin yang body. So, thank you. after you apparently. There's been so many things that should have gone wrong, and we still put on an amazing show. That's something, even though we paid $15 for shipping, it's not here. I'm really angry. But,
So shipping for a gift card?
gift card. So we printed the script as books for Loki, hardcover books, because he wrote this and it's so special and it should be treated as just something so amazing, and there's a little note and it's really cute. And our name's inside the cover, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that should be